You know, that specific kind of exhaustion.
Oh, I know well.
I mean, you're sitting at this expensive standing desk. You've got the premium meditation app the company paid for. You just sat through a town hall on purpose.
Right. You have all the tools.
All the tools, arguably more support than any worker in history, and yet you just feel completely hollowed out.
It is the defining feeling of the modern workforce, I think.
Yeah.
That I have everything I need, so why can't I function?
Paradox.
Exactly. It's almost guilt-inducing. You look at all the perks and think, I should be thriving. But it turns out we are not alone.
Not at all.
We're digging into something today that explains exactly why throwing more perks, more digital tools, more initiatives at employees is, well, it's actually backfiring.
It's what researchers are calling the resource fragmentation paradox.
The resource fragmentation paradox. I do love a good paradox to start the day. Sounds ominous. So set the stage for us. What are we diving into?
So we're looking at a brand new study. It's fresh from 2026. It's titled Employee Experience Capital, a strategic guide to performance. Okay?
And its core idea is fascinating. It basically says, look, companies are spending record amounts on employee experience.
Tech, wellness, all that stuff.
All of it. But because these things don't talk to each other, they're just creating noise instead of a clear signal.
So we have all the pieces of the puzzle, but they're from like 10 different boxes and nothing fits.
Precisely. And the stakes here are huge. This isn't just about feeling good. This research says that if you could actually integrate these resources, if you turn them from isolated islands into a real ecosystem, you unlock a level of performance that most companies aren't even touching.
And that's what they call Employee Experience Capital, or EEC.
That's it.
Capital is such an interesting word there. You know, usually this is all soft language. Capital implies it's a real asset, something you could put on the books.
And that is the whole shift. Think of it like a carpenter's toolkit. Right now, most employees have a hammer in one room, a saw in the basement.
And the instructions are in a PDF they can't find.
Exactly. Because the Wi-Fi is spotty. EEC is about organizing 7 specific drivers into one unified system so the employee can actually build something.
Okay, 7 drivers. I want to get into these, but not just as a list. I want to understand the tension because some of these feel standard, but the study's application of them feels different.
The application is everything. It's all about depth. So let's start with the first one, digital autonomy.
Which I'm guessing is more than just, here's a laptop, good luck.
Right. Most companies think digital autonomy means giving you the hardware, maybe letting you work from a coffee shop. But the study defines it as giving you control over how you interact with that tech. It's all about boundaries.
So not just having Slack, but having the organizational permission to turn Slack off.
Exactly. If you have the tool, the laptop, but not the autonomy to manage your connectivity,
Yeah.
you get that always-on culture. And the resource becomes a liability.
It becomes a stressor.
It becomes a stressor, not an enabler.
That makes perfect sense. It's being empowered by the tool versus being tethered to it. Okay, what's next?
Inclusive cognition. And this is a really big step forward from how we usually talk about D&I.
Which is usually about demographics, you know, who's in the room.
Yes, but inclusive cognition moves from who you are to how you think. It's about explicitly embracing neurodiversity, different processing styles. It's knowing you might have a brilliant analyst who works differently than your sales lead, and then building a workflow that accommodates both.
I see. So it's operationalizing diversity, not just reporting on it. It's saying, we know this person needs deep focus, this one works in sprints, and the system can handle that.
Spot on. It reduces the friction. The third pillar is sustainability alignment. Before you roll your eyes.
I wasn't going to. But I will say, usually sustainability is, you know, a tab on the website, not something that helps me with my Tuesday morning report.
And that's the fragmentation problem.
Very good.
In a high EC company, sustainability goals are integrated into your daily work. You need to feel your output contributes. Otherwise, it is just a poster in the break room.
Okay, so that's 3. Autonomy, cognition, sustainability. Number 4 is the one everyone's debating. AI synergy.
And synergy is the key word. The research is clear. If AI is just a cost-cutting replacement, it tanks EC. It destroys trust.
Because everyone's just waiting for their job to be automated.
Of course. But if it's deployed as augmentation, helping you with the grunt work so you can do the high-value stuff, it becomes a massive asset.
It's the Iron Man suit versus the Terminator. One helps you fly, the other.
Now, a perfect
Yeah.
analogy.
Right.
When it's synergistic, it feels like a superpower, not a threat.
Yeah.
5th is mindful design. This one is my personal favorite.
I flagged this one too. This isn't about meditation, is it? Because if I have to breathe deeply one more time while my inbox explodes.
No, thankfully not. It's about structural design. It's about building workflows specifically to reduce cognitive load and attention fragmentation.
Attention fragmentation. That feels like the villain of the modern workplace.
It absolutely is. We're treating our brains like browser tabs. Pillar 6 is learning agility, the capacity to rapidly unlearn and relearn. But again, it has to be built into the workflow, not something you do at night on your own time.
And the last one.
Wellness technology. But not just a crisis hotline. We're talking about real-time, proactive tools for stress management and recovery.
Okay, so these 7 pillars: digital autonomy, inclusive cognition, sustainability, AI synergy, mindful design, learning agility, and wellness tech. I mean, it sounds like a dream workplace.
It does.
But what's the reality check? How many companies are actually doing this?
Very, very few. The data is stark. The study found that while a lot of organizations are good at one or two...
Sure, they're a tech-first company or a green company.
Exactly. But only 32.1% effectively integrate all 7 of them.
Wow, less than a third.
And that's where the capital is lost. The study proves that altogether is so much better than the sum of its parts. You need that synergy. If you have great AI but poor mindful design, you just have employees using fast tools to burn themselves out faster.
Oof. That hits hard. It's like buying a Ferrari engine and putting it in a go-kart with no brakes.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the payout. If a company does manage this, what happens? Because the study highlights a mechanism here that I found really surprising.
This is the most provocative part of the research. They looked at how these pillars actually drive performance, and they found 2 distinct psychological pathways.
2 roads to productivity.
Right. The first road is work resonance. This is the meaning path. Value alignment. Do I believe in what we're doing?
The start with why argument. We hear this a lot.
All the time. The second road is employee vitality. This is the energy path. Do I feel alive? Am I focused? Do I have the raw fuel to do the job?
Okay, so meaning versus energy. Now, if I'm a betting man, based on every business book from the last 10 years, I am putting all my money on meaning.
That would be the logical bet.
Purpose is the ultimate driver. If you have a why, you can endure any how. Isn't that the line?
That is the corporate dogma. But this 2026 study just flips it completely on its head. They found that vitality is the much stronger driver of performance.
Really? By how much?
It's not even close. The statistical path from vitality to performance was 0.70. The path from resonance or meaning to performance, only 0.11.
Whoa. 0.70 versus 0.11. That is a landslide. That's not a rounding error. That's a whole new reality.
It is. And we need to be clear here. It doesn't mean purpose is useless, not at all. It just means purpose is insufficient if you are exhausted.
You can't drive a car on meaning if the gas tank is empty.
Precisely. You could be saving the rainforests, but if your employees are drained and unfocused, if they have low vitality, that high purpose will not save their performance. They just can't execute.
I think that really validates what so many people are feeling. You have these companies with these grand mission statements, but the day-to-day work is so depleting that the mission just feels irrelevant.
And that is the resource fragmentation paradox in action. The company gives you the meaning, but it fails to provide the vitality. So the investment in meaning is just wasted.
Okay, I want to move from the theory to the real world, because vitality and synergy can sound a bit abstract. The study gives some actual examples, so who's actually getting this right?
Let's look at how Unilever handled that AI synergy pillar. Recruitment is, a really sensitive area for AI. People are terrified of the black box.
Right, the computer says no scenario. Feels very dystopian.
So Unilever leaned into that fear. They used AI to widen the net, but, and this is key, they implemented employee review panels to test the algorithms for fairness before they even went live.
So actual humans checking the AI's math.
Humans with different cognitive styles, too. There's your inclusive cognition. But the real game changer was giving recruiters human override authority.
Human override authority. I like the sound of that.
It means if the AI says reject, a human recruiter can say, no, I see potential here, and document why. It builds trust. It signals the AI is a tool for the human, not a replacement of the human.
And what were the results? Did it actually work?
It was incredible. Diversity hires went up 16%, and time to hire dropped by 25%.
So it's more efficient and more human. That's real synergy.
That's it.
Okay, let's talk about Siemens. They're a massive industrial giant. How do they handle something like learning agility?
Right. So Siemens launched what they call the Tech Academy. But the content itself wasn't the real innovation. The time was the innovation.
What do you mean by that?
Managers at Siemens explicitly allocate 10% of every work week for deliberate learning.
10%? That's what, a half day every week?
Every single week, just to learn.
That sounds like a huge operational cost on paper.
It's an investment. It signals that learning isn't something you do on top of your job. It is part of your job. And they structure it with learning sprints so teams learn a new skill and immediately apply it to a prototype.
So it's active, not passive. You learn it, then you use it.
Exactly. The studies show these digitally upskilled employees had 22% higher productivity. They made the time back and then some.
I love that. It reframes learning from a chore into a strategy. Okay, we have to talk about Aetna and mindful design.
Yes. My favorite example because it costs $0 and almost no one does it. Aetna looked at attention fragmentation. They saw that back-to-back meetings were just destroying people's cognitive capacity.
The dreaded Zoom fatigue.
So they changed the operating model. All meetings are now limited to 25 or 50 minutes, never 60.
Just to force that little buffer in between.
To force a neurological reset, your brain needs transition time. If you switch from a finance call to a creative brainstorm with 0 seconds in between, you get what's called attention residue.
You're physically there, but your brain is still in the last meeting.
Precisely. By enforcing that 10-minute break, Aetna gave people their brains back. Participants gained 62 minutes of productive time per week and reduced their stress by 28%.
Over an hour of productive time gained just by changing calendar defaults. That is the definition of mindful design.
It's systemic.
Mm-hmm.
It's not telling the employee, you should breathe more. It's building a system where breathing is actually possible.
Okay, so what about that purpose piece? How do you make sustainability feel real?
Infosys has a brilliant approach called Powered by Purpose. They realized, a lot of tech workers care about the climate, but writing Java code feels totally disconnected from that.
It's too abstract. How much carbon is this line of code emitting?
Well, Infosys actually lets them answer that. They integrated sustainability metrics right into their project planning tools. An employee can see the carbon footprint of their specific project in real time.
That's incredible. It gamifies it in a good way.
Exactly. It moves sustainability from a vague corporate goal to a daily operational reality. And the business impact. Purpose-aligned teams had 17% higher client satisfaction.
So all these examples, Unilever, Siemens, Aetna, Infosys, none of these sound like traditional HR initiatives. They're operational changes.
And that gets us to the how. The trap is thinking, okay, great, I'll forward this deep dive to HR.
The classic HR, please fix the culture move.
The research is adamant. Building EEC requires distributed leadership. You can't silo this.
Give me an example of what that looks like in practice.
Look at Microsoft and their inclusive design approach. They didn't just hire a diversity team. They trained their engineers and product managers on something called persona spectrums.
What's a persona spectrum?
It's a design tool that helps you understand how a neurodivergent user or someone with a temporary disability might interact with your product.
So the engineer's thinking about inclusion while they're actually coding.
Yes. It democratizes inclusion. It makes it a technical capability, not a compliance checklist.
And that links back to what you see at places like PayPal and SAP, right?
Right. SAP launched a global mental health initiative, but the key wasn't the app they bought. It was that the executives shared their own personal stories of burnout and therapy.
Destigmatizing it from the top.
And PayPal combined their values, that's the resonance, with structural support like flexible schedules, that's the vitality. They recognized you need both. It's a single ecosystem.
So zooming out, we have these pillars. We know vitality is the engine, and it requires this distributed leadership. The researchers have a specific term for what happens when you get this right? The V-RIN resource.
Yes, V-RIN. It's a classic strategy concept. It stands for valuable, rare, inimitable, and non-substitutable.
Okay, break down inimitable for us.
It just means hard to copy.
Hard to copy. Got it.
Think about it. Your competitor can copy your product. They can copy your pricing. They can definitely buy the same wellness app you have.
They can even poach your people.
They can. But what they cannot easily copy is an integrated ecosystem where your AI strategy reinforces your inclusion strategy, which reinforces your sustainability goals.
Yeah.
That web of connections is unique.
That is the moat.
That is the competitive advantage. That's why it's called employee experience capital. It's an asset that belongs to the firm because it lives in the relationships between the resources, not in the resources themselves.
Well, for the person listening to this, maybe sitting there with 50 tabs open, realizing their vitality is pretty low right now, what's the move? How do you apply this?
I would say audit your own stack. Whether you're a manager or on the front lines, look at those 7 pillars and just ask,
Hmm.
is the left hand taking away what the right hand is giving?
Are my digital tools draining the very energy that my wellness program is trying to restore?
Exactly. If you're scheduling back-to-back 60-minute meetings while sending emails about Mental Health Day, you are sabotaging your own investment. You're poking holes in the fuel tank while trying to fill it up.
It really comes down to coherence. It's stop adding more things and start connecting the things you already have.
And prioritize vitality.
Mhm.
If you have to choose between a new mission statement or a better meeting policy, choose the meeting policy.
Choose the energy.
Choose the energy. The research is clear. Well-being isn't just a nice-to-have boundary condition anymore. It is the engine of performance.
And if you don't have the engine, the car doesn't move no matter how nice the destination on the map looks.
Perfectly said.
Well, that is a powerful place to leave it. We've gone from the resource fragmentation paradox to the undeniable power of vitality. It's certainly given me a good reason to close a few of these tabs.
Do it for the vitality.
I think I will. Thanks for diving in with us.
My pleasure.
And thank you for listening. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.